Hey, Symposium listeners, have you ever listened to our A Song of Ice and Fire coverage and wanted to chime in live with your thoughts? Or wanted us to cover a property of your choice?
Introducing the Symposium Review Contest. The contest is open now and closes on August 31st, 2026.
Here's how you can enter. Leave us a 5-star review on any podcatcher and send us a screenshot to earn an entry. You can leave reviews on as many platforms as you want, and each screenshot counts as an entry.
If you want an extra incentive, every review you submit on or before April 30th, 2026 will be counted as 2 entries.
If you win, you get to pick one of the following 3 options.
Option 1, join us for an A Song of Ice and Fire wrap-up episode after we have read A Dance with Dragons.
Option 2, get us to watch or read or otherwise consume a piece of media to cover on the podcast.
Option 3 is the same as option 2, but you get to also be on the podcast episode with us.
We will have a minimum of 2 winners. One winner will be the person who earned the most entries, and a second winner will be chosen through random draw. If interest is high, a third winner may also be chosen.
So folks, get those reviews in on or before August 31st, 2026. We look forward to chatting with you in fall of 2026.
And now on to the episode. Welcome to A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Dance with Dragons, chapters 47 and 48, Tyrion and Jaime. In these chapters,
the Lannister bros throw blows at their dead father.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. So, Harmit, who died in these chapters?
Okay, so many people. Suddenly I can't remember any of them. Well, we learn about the, Blackwood guy's kids who died. Womp womp. And then people died in Tyrion's chapter, right?
Yeah, he flashes back to Jorah killing 3 people when their ship was being taken over, but then he also witnesses a bunch of enslaved people get killed, so
yes, yeah.
No fun at all.
Yes, yeah. I don't remember any other named things.
I don't think so either. Yeah. All right. So, what did you think of these chapters?
They were good. Oh my god, Tyrion's chapter was so chaotic, and I was like, oh my god, what is happening? But Jaime's chapter was fun. I had a good time.
Okay, cool.
Oh my god, and we got a reunion, sort of.
What do you mean? Oh, okay, but do explain still.
We got a Jaime Brienne reunion.
Okay.
No.
For some reason, I was still thinking of Tyrion's chapter, and I was like, he never met Brown Ben Plum before. For some reason, I was thinking of that, not...
Right, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is true. So, after much needling, you did predict somewhat accurately.
LOL. Yeah.
But we should also explain, the Lannister bros throw blows at their father thing. That's just so that we could have a rhyming... scheme going. They do exactly. Talk they're always dissing their father, he used to be like that, I killed my father. They always be doing that.
Tyrion, every time someone's being annoying and he's like, my father would have something to
have you met my father? I killed him.
Yes, but it's basically you want to talk after what I did to my father? That's basically always his attitude inside his head. Where I feel like it used to be, it's talk to the hand. And it is talk to the hand because his father was the hand,
And he was the hand.
Yes, true.
The hand talks to the hand.
But the throw blows at their father, specifically, I was thinking of how what was I gonna say? Well, his father would disapprove of everything that's going on with Tyrion, and like he'd be like, "Oh, I'm so ashamed. How did you let this happen?" But what's new there? But with Jaime's thing, I feel like Jaime is kind of doing the exact opposite of what Tywin would do in all of these negotiations and all the things. And then it's so funny because in the middle of the chapter, he has the audacity to be like, "And Jenna thought I wasn't my father's son." And I was like, "You're not, King. I love you, but you're not. This is not what Tywin would do." So
and you're the better for it.
Yeah, but there were just moments where I was like, is this the smart thing to do, Jaime? Or do we put a little Tywin into this one moment? You know?
But he does put some Tywin into it.
Some, but it feels like not enough.
I think you handle it well. But okay, we can debate that later. So you like these chapters, you like Jaime's more. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Jaime. And
oh my god, I missed his wit. Not even wit. I missed his just like smart assing, like all the time.
You seem to have put on your pants on backwards there. just like his remarks during that whole thing.
Exactly. Even the fact that he just he just is like, "I'll announce myself." And then he just kind of stands there for a second, and then he's like, "Didn't mean to interrupt you, buddy." What? Yeah, like, sir, I'm gonna need you to not, like, he do be finding so many people just fucking recently. Like, that's just what he
or do people just be fucking recently?
Sorry?
But no, it is kind of like becoming a Jaime's chapter thing that he's
and you know what, it's so interesting because him finding people fucking is happening as soon as he has stopped fucking, and also as soon as he has hyperfixated on Cersei fucking. So it just is like this giant theme in his thing going on. Like, that's just what he's all about.
Maybe that's what happened at the beginning of every other Jaime chapter before too, but because he didn't care about it, we never heard about it.
That's funny.
Okay, so summary.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
3, 2.
Wait. Tyrion, right? Yeah, Tyrion. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Tyrion's getting auctioned off right there in front of Marine. People are going. It's brown. At the end of the day, it's Brown Ben Plum, and then it's this youngish guy who's like high up ish. They get sold as like a package deal with him and Penny. He's like, "Oh no, Jorah," and then he's like, "We need Jorah as part of our act." And then it's like, "Okay," and then they're sold, and the guy is basically like fear mongering them, and then they
switch.
Jaime is at, what is this place? He basically goes and like
Raven Tree.
Yeah, he goes and talks to the
Bracken.
Thank you, the Bracken, and then he goes and talks to the
Blackwood.
And they're like, you know, we all know they hate each other, whatever. And they're like, "You need to take a hostage from him. You need to take these lands from him." He basically ends up negotiating, "You get these villages, you yield, slay, leaving." And then he goes over to...
That's a minute. So glad you retained all of that information.
Hey, I retained it. I just couldn't say it quick enough, okay?
All right.
I was getting there. I was warming up.
We should let people know. It's like 11 a.m. It's too early for Harmouth, okay?
Yeah.
It's basically the ass crack of dawn. Like,
For real.
So that's the summary. Do you want to get us started on Tyrion's chapter?
Let's do it. Okay. Okay, so we start off, and Tyrion is like on the little auction block, and him and Penny are being sold as one unit along with the dog and pig, because they're being sold as like an entertainment, like entertain your visitors, entertain yourself, forget your woes, whatever. And okay, so the guy calls out and he's like, "Lot 97," and then like there's like a girl who's lot 98, and then Jorah's lot 99, and I'm like, are all of these just from the ship, or is it just like whatever they had collected on that voyage?
Well, the girl's not from the ship, so it's like a mix of from the ship and not from the ship.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I couldn't remember if the girl was from the ship or not. But yeah, so they have this auction block like thrown up like basically right where Marine starts, which is so, like, he literally even says, like, so close but so far.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where they are.
And what a slap in Daenerys's face. Like, you can be the queen of the freed people, but here we are enslaving free people right outside your gates.
Yeah. And which is, it sucks. And he's like, it smells bad. Like, I can smell the latrines. There's, like, it's just not good.
We don't need to go into that much detail. It's misery all around. Like,
but then there's the fucking bitters just, like, sitting and chilling in their tokars and just casually being like, I'll take this one for this many silvers. I'll take this one. And it's, like, kind of deplorable and annoying.
And there's also a bunch of sellswords standing by that he's not sure if they're bidding or if they're just there for the show.
Yeah.
And he can tell that at least a few of them are also Westerosi, so like gets his wheels turning, you know. And there's like there's like a whole bidding war that happens for their lot.
Yeah.
And the key players are like the fat yellow guy. If you remember, this guy was mentioned in the Windblown chapter, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. And at that point, when, like, I was talking about, he likes to collect unique humans, you were like, maybe he'll buy Tyrion, and then you clearly seem to forget about him later, so.
Oh, LOL. I love when I just say the right thing and then totally forget about it. It's the same way I felt with, oh my god, there was a thing that happened in this chapter where I was like, oh my god, I predicted that once, but then I forgot about my prediction and never said it again, so I can't even claim it as my own. It was like...
What was it?
I don't remember.
That's so helpful.
It was me being like, oh my god, he's gonna be, like, sold to the Yunkai, and then he's gonna go over to Dany's quarters. But when it actually came down to it, I just was like, he's gonna be sold to Volantis. Like, you know, like, I said that once, and then I was like, tra-la-la-la-la, you know, like.
Yeah. Okay, so, he has a name that I don't remember. It's a Y something Y, but and then like the Supreme Commander has a very similar looking name.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that I just kind of like skip over in my mind when reading. But in the Windblown chapter, they call this guy the Yellow Whale, so we're just gonna call him that because it's like a memorable thing. And maybe that's racist, but these are made up races, so like yeah. Okay. And then there's this one old woman that just keeps adding "and one" to every bid, which is so annoing.
And even the auctioneer is side-eyeing her, but what's he
gonna
do
no, that's
about
like literally the worst. Like, you just go away.
It's a good strategy, man. I can't begrudge her this of all the things.
Yeah. So Tyrion's reflecting on how the other people from the ships were sold. So all the sailors who were already enslaved previously, they sold for like 500 to 900 pieces of silver because they have a valuable skill. And also for them, it was just like a change of ownership because they had already been enslaved. So like, I mean, their lives might be a lot worse now or a lot better. Who knows? But like, their situation is pretty much unchanged, basically. Yeah. And the ship's mates, who were free men, had the widow of the waterfront that like agreed to ransom them back. Yeah. So they have that kind of backing them. And then the priests of the Red God that were previously enslaved will likely be bought back by another Red Temple. So they kind of have that reassurance question mark. So, but Tyrion and Penny have no such backing.
Okay, two thoughts. First of all, this makes so much sense because I remember being like, hey, I feel like the widow of the waterfront is sending them to Danny at, like, to
Mhm.
Danny's neck of the woods. But, like, why would she just do that? Especially after Jorah was, like, being so insolent and all the things. So it's, like, this actually makes sense, because it's very, like, go live in my shoes, you annoying Westerosi people.
Oh, so she was like, you gonna go get enslaved, and now...
I think it was part of, because I think she saw it coming. Like, I feel like she did, because she was like, this ship's never gonna reach its destination and whatever. Like, even if she didn't know the details, I feel like it was like, oh, I'm putting you in potential harm's way, and I'm not
Right.
like, I'm not giving you a binder, you know?
I don't know if I completely am behind that. Like, I don't know if she was like, I anticipate you'll get enslaved, and like, that's cool with me.
Not that.
I think she was just like, you want to get close
to
to Daenerys, and Tyrion had made a point, like, I can help her, like, all of that. So she wouldn't want Tyrion to get enslaved, so then not be able to help Daenerys, because that's what she sent them for.
But I don't know if she necessarily believed that he was going to be so helpful. Like, I think she didn't like Tyrion. She didn't like Jorah.
Okay.
Like,
well, I'm just saying I believe the opposite.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no,
I think it was just they were like, we want to get close to Daenerys, and then eventually she was sold on them wanting to get close to Daenerys, and then she knew about the ship that was going to end up near Daenerys.
Yeah.
Eventually, so then she put them on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible. I just don't think so, because I feel like she really did not
I
like
don't
them.
think you're so. I don't know. Okay, cool. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
So yeah, bidding.
Penny's like, I'm glad they're keeping us together. I'm like, poor Penny, man.
Yeah. And
also,
they've already been beaten, like Tyrion, because he can't keep his mouth shut. Jorah, because he fought the takeover. So like, yeah, they're in rough condition.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah, and literally, I feel like the last time I was like, Tyrion is collecting injuries like Pokemon, and then even he gets like 3 new ones in this chapter. And I'm like, I can't. This has got to be the most injured person alive in this world. Like,
I don't know. I feel like those guys that were getting like lead bullets shot at them would...
Oh my god. Oh,
disagree.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's a big, like, he's the most injured person in this world. That's a big claim.
Okay, we've had this conversation in number of injuries. There are plenty of
like, he has
injuries.
plenty of injuries, but I also think that he may not have the most injuries. Like,
Sure, but I just feel like everybody who's getting worse things than him is dying because he's getting such bad of injuries, you know? Like,
okay.
Like, I do not know how this boy is not, like, septic. Like, he has so many just infections.
Maybe
and so many
he
things
is.
Going on. Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And he'll just die outside the gates of Marine, never getting to see Daenerys.
Yeah, that too. He narrowly avoided the stone thingy. The thing where you turn to stone.
Oh, grayscale?
Thank you, yes. He narrowly avoided grayscale, and now he's near this flux, and I'm like, man, what is going on with you?
Yeah, but maybe he's a secret Targaryen, and he doesn't get infected with diseases.
Whoa.
That, I think, is part of that theory.
Okay, interesting.
Because he, like, survived grayscale.
Yeah.
So far, he hasn't gotten the bloody flux, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But maybe if he does survive it, then it could be, like, more evidence that he's a Targaryen, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Their bidding, like, goes up and up, and he's like, oh, this is the amount the sailors were sold for.
Yeah, we are just as valuable. Look at us.
Yeah.
And then he's noting that there's this one sellsword that's eyeing him, and he's like, oh, I bet he recognizes me. And then the sellsword starts spitting. And did you at this point realize it was Brown Ben Plum or no?
No. I was like, who the fuck are you? Like,
well, he's a brown-skinned man that's wearing a plum-colored cloak. Like, who else could it be?
You know, I just wasn't really thinking about that, to be so for real with you. I just was like, whomst are you, sir? Good sir, fine day.
Yeah. And Tyrion's like, oh, I guess he's probably hoping to take me back to Cersei and sell me to her for a lot more than he pays for here. And Tyrion's like, yeah, go for it. There's a long way between here and Cersei. Anything can happen. I can maybe talk you around. Like,
oh my god.
Let's but then he notices that the guy doesn't have the kindest look about him, and he's like, maybe it's for the best that he doesn't buy me. Yeah. But then eventually the yellow whale bets 5,000 silvers, and that's too much for Brown Ben Plum, so he turns away. And Tyrion's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Yeah. And then he starts betting on himself.
Oh my god.
He's like, 7,000. Look at all the things I can do. I murder with a crossbow. I've even been known to cook from time to time.
That
which
was
I think
funny.
Is referring to the singer he stewed. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I was like, the words are not going to come to me.
And I promise I'll pay you back. My father always told me I must pay back my debts.
LOL. Oh my god.
And that's when Brown Ben Plum looks back, and this is when he notices
his
that
eyes
he's
are
got
cold,
like a
man.
warm smile but cold eyes.
Ugh.
And then he offers all the gold of Casterly Rock for himself.
Yep. I was like, you're so funny, sir. And also, it was so sad. He's like, his thoughts flashed back to the beginning of his journey when his most pressing problem was deciding which wine to drink with his mid-morning snails. And I was like, yeah, all the turntables.
Truly. But, yeah, I don't even know. There's no
people, obviously, like, selling people is, like, really bad and terrible. But these people are, like, on top of that, really annoying about it. Like Tyrion gets sold and then the auctioneer hits him again just because he could. Or there was like an old lady who was like bidding for them a lot, and then she comes closer and she's like, yeah, but he's ugly. And Tyrion's like, you're not so hot yourself, miss. And it just is like, you guys are so annoying. Like, on top of being terrible people, you know?
Yeah, but that just kind of comes with being, like, if you're willing to put a price on human beings.
Of course.
You're gonna treat them like shit. Yeah.
I know. It just was really annoying, you know?
Yeah. So, finally he gets sold to the Yellow Whale, I think at the 5,000 mark. And they get carted off to this cart where Nurse is waiting for them. And Tyrion's just looking over at the gates, and he's like, I just have to get in there and then I'll be free again.
Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah.
So Nurse, who is the quote-unquote caretaker of the Yellow Whale's quote-unquote favorite creatures, he calls them darling little creatures. You remind me of my own children, or would if my little ones were not dead. Something makes me feel like he killed his own kids. Like, I have no idea, but like,
of course, I agree. I don't trust this guy.
Yeah, and he's like, think of your master as your father, and Tyrion, of course, is like, gladly. And he loves his special treasures best of all, and he'll cherish you, and you can think of me as the nurse who would care for you. So Nurse is what all my children call me. Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Annoying. I don't like him.
And later on, when they get into the tent and meet the other enslaved people, Sweets, I think, is the one that tells them, like, Nurse is actually the cruelest of them all. So, like, this, like, fake nicety, like, you know, being kind, like, fake kindness.
Yeah.
It's worse than just outright cruelty, because maybe not, but
it's
like,
it feels bad, because you're like, oh, maybe I have someone that, no, I don't. Actually, you're terrible. Yeah, it's like, it's its own type of cruelty.
So as they're loading up into the wagon, Jorah's turn comes up, and he is in rough shape. Like, he has been beaten and starved and just all the bad things. And then they've also branded him on his cheek. Yeah. So later on, when Tyrion and Penny are getting their collars, he's like, at least this can be taken off, whereas a brand is forever. So
yeah. This, I had such complicated feelings toward Jorah in this chapter, because it was like, I think this was like probably I feel like most of the time we see Jorah, it's hard to feel bad for him because he's just going around being so annoying. But in this chapter, it was like, oh my god, like, I feel so bad for you. But then I flashed back to how he used to sell people. And it was one of those moments where I was like, you know?
But still doesn't really make me wish slavery on him.
Of course, but it just, like, in this fictional world, it was like, is this karmic justice? But then also when Tyrion, like, sort of helped him out, I was kind of glad, though. Especially because Tyrion's, you know, been killing people left and right, too. So it was a nice little, like, he's like, Jorah's not my friend, but I did this for some reason, and then also hopefully it keeps Jorah safe, because I don't want him to, you know, whatever. Also, okay, not to, like, so if nobody wants to buy you, do they just kill you? Do they just take you somewhere else, like, where it's like,
maybe then you become the slave of the person doing, like, the selling, like, you just still remain enslaved, you just they probably get what they can out of you and then leave you for dead. Like, I don't know. Sad. But so he's not selling well, but there are people willing to buy him, just not at any high prices because he's in such rough shape. And there's the one woman, that one is one of the ones bidding on him, and Tyrion asks one of the soldiers, like, what's her deal? And she apparently buys, like, people to fight in the fighting pits for cheap so that they could just be fodder for, like, the heroes of the fighting pits. So basically she's buying, like, people to be killed right away. And it's, there's, like, also the fact that the fighting pits are now open and that Daenerys is, like, has signed this peace or is going to sign this peace is big news.
Because Jorah basically broke the moment he heard that. Like,
well, he broke the moment he heard that she married his star.
Yes. Yeah.
What did you ever think she was gonna marry you? Like, just,
well, he did. That's the thing. He was delusional. Like,
I don't want him to be enslaved and to suffer in this way, but I don't really want him to be redeemed either. So, like,
right.
Let him die fighting, but let him do that as a free person, not as an enslaved person, you know?
Fair.
Yeah, but there's, like, some enslaved people that don't believe that this could be true. Like, why would Daenerys ever turn her back on them? Like,
she's gonna, guys, she sees us, she's gonna come out and save us. It's okay, we just gotta wait. And I was like, man, if y'all only knew, y'all would be so mad.
They're like, she's gonna be here, and Tyrion's like, I have no faith in royal rescues. If need be, he would see to their deliverance himself, because he's still carrying those mushrooms in his boots. And he's like,
God.
I'll just kill myself and Penny.
Oh my god.
Okay. But yeah, so back to the woman bidding. Her name's Zarina, I think. And that's such a nice name for such a terrible person. I just love names that start with Z. She's the one betting on Jorah, and Tyrion's like, okay, well, I can't let him die for some reason, so I'm gonna see what I can do. And he calls to Nurse and tells him that Jorah is part of their act, and that he's the bear in the Bear and the Maiden Fair act. Jorah's the bear, Penny's the maiden, and Tyrion is the knight that saves her. So they need him for their
thing.
And then it works. Nurse goes over to the yellow whale, tells him what's going on, and the yellow whale buys Jorah.
Yay.
And Jorah just goes along with it because, as we said, all the fight has gone out of him ever since he heard that Daenerys is married.
Yeah. Man.
And so they get loaded up into the cart. Nurse is like driving the cart, and then they have like 4 enslaved soldiers that are guarding the cart as they're leaving. Mm-hmm. And I make a note of that because later on, one of these soldiers is like, we're gonna drive the Dragon Queen to her knees. And I'm like, okay, so not all enslaved people are behind Daenerys. Like, is it because they once were and they have now lost hope? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's probably like I could be worse off. I'm doing good. I'm like, I'm doing better than other enslaved people. I'm in a good spot. Like,
Yeah, maybe that is it. But it did kind of like catch me off guard for a second.
Totally, yeah.
And it also as a reminder, like most of the people working and fighting here are enslaved people. So that if Daenerys did want to get her shit together and going, like, she's already got an army of supporters. But
exactly. Get them, like, literally, yeah, your enemies are powered on people that you could potentially get to your side and you haven't even tried. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're passing through the camp and Tyrion's noticing the trebuchet, the great big 6 trebuchets that the Yunkish have built with wood they brought over with ships because obviously they burned down all the wood in the area. Mm-hmm. Or the Marinese had burnt down all the wood in the area. Yeah. And we learned the names of the trebuchets, whatever. And and Tyrion's also noticing that there's people dead and dying around. There's clearly some kind of flux going around. Mm-hmm. And he recalls his dad telling him that disease could wipe out an army quicker than any battle. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, so we really need to get out of here.
Yeah.
So at least that's not good news, but it is news. Like, we know that the disease is spreading within Meereen, so like that's worrisome for Daenerys. But it's also spreading within her enemies' flanks.
True. Oh.
So maybe they're once again equalized in that. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
And then that's like Tyrion's thinking of escaping, and as they come across a group of enslaved people that did try to escape, and the punishment that they're being doled out, which is these slingers who are called the Tolosi that throw soft lead balls in place of stones, which is basically like little sling bullets.
Yeah.
So they're just blowing off the limbs of these people, like, why are people, and I don't mean, like, I mean just in general, like, this is an existential question. Like, why are people and humans like this?
Yeah. That's all I got for you. Yeah, it just is like the things we could do if we weren't doing this,
As Gadaspan says, "Lan ta aisiyan scienceaਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬਣੀਆਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਮਕਾਉਣ ਲਈ." Like, what is the point of coming up with inventions that hurt people? And I know it's like, oh, when we fight, like, we gotta fight for some things, and that's why we need just
shut up. Shut up. Did I ask? No.
And this I take as somebody who's come to terms that, like, no violence is not the answer. Like, sometimes you need violence. But what if we didn't have weapons of this kind of this is not mass destruction, but
Yeah.
There's such conflicts in my brain and in life and in the world.
I know, it's hard. It's so hard.
Like, if nobody had weapons, then we could fight, like, just hand to hand. And, okay, sorry, I'm gonna get real nerdy.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go first.
No, you go first because my thing's going to take me
My
a
thing's
while.
unrelated, so you should go first.
Okay. Well, mine's unrelated too, but I remember like in high school learning about World War One, and one of the things that like changed around that time was that they had like those longer shot guns, so that when you were fighting, you could no longer like you can see your enemies, you know, in the distance, but you could no longer look them in the eye and like face what you were about to do. So it took the humanity out of that action.
Yes.
Whereas previously they had to fight with like short range guns and bayonets and stuff. So you will right up on each other, and that meant a different thing.
Yeah.
So like, and we're getting like further and further down, like drone strikes and shit. That's like somebody playing a video game on a different continent, killing whole villages. Like, how is that cool?
Yeah. Right.
Sorry.
No, of course. Yeah.
This is heavy conversation for 11 a.m. on. Yeah. Okay.
It's like, everything you said, I have nothing to add. But like, you know what? You know what I'm gonna start saying? I'm adding exclamation marks to your points. That's all I got. You know?
I appreciate that. But
what was I gonna say? Hold on. Hold on. Damn it. Wait, what were we talking about? Dehumanization, World War One. What were we talking about before?
Weapons of mass destruction, weapons killing people. Violence maybe need bad. Yeah, but let's fight each other hand to hand. Like
hand to hand combat. This is the same way that I feel about this is the same way that I feel about the exact opposite thing, okay? Because weapons, like, inherently are for damage, you know? Like, they're weapons, you know? They're meant to go fight, die, right? Okay, wow.
Yeah.
I'm so eloquent today. But it's, like, the opposite, where, like, when new technology comes out, it's like, hey, this is supposed to be technology is not supposed to be used as weaponry in its, like, baseline thing, you know? But then it's like, I feel like every single technology that comes out nowadays is in some way weaponized.
Oh, yeah.
So then now it's like, I feel like I have to be like anti-technology, not because I'm anti-technology, but because it's like, no matter, like somebody the other day, and I felt like such a vibe ruiner, but you know what, I can't. This is who I am now. I am a vibe ruiner. But it was like,
embrace the feminist killjoy in you, okay?
Thank you. That's a good way to put it. But I just was like, you know what? Because usually I don't feel that way, but I was in a room full of people who did not appreciate being vibe checked. So then I was like, oh, wow, okay, I am being a vibe ruiner right now. Okay, cool. But anyway, it was like someone was talking about like, oh yeah, like, can you imagine if we had, like, robots who did this? I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was, like, something, like, sort of out there that we didn't have, which is weird to say because it feels like we have the craziest inventions going on, whatever. But it was, like, something that we didn't have, and I was like, that would be so cool in theory, but I just feel like right now it would just be used to, like, kill people or, like, discriminate or, like, something. And then she was like, yeah, but that's not what, like, I wanted it to do. And I was like, that it doesn't matter what you wanted it. You think half of the people who invented our newest technologies wanted them to be used in this way? Like, that's not how it works. But then I just was thinking about it, and I was like, I remember, like, when I was younger, I was like, I'm gonna be a scientist, and I'm gonna invent something, and it's gonna be used for good, and that's it. And then I think about insulin, and I think about, like, penicillin, and I'm like, oh my god, never mind. You can't even do that. You
Wait,
know?
Are those being weaponized too?
No, sorry. I need to be so much more clear. Not weaponized, but it's like, the guy who made insulin was like, I want everyone to have insulin for free because this is really important for you.
Oh, and then drug companies were like, we're gonna hoard it and sell it for high prices.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
That was so unclear. I was like,
no, that yes,
bombs?
I did know about that. I think I just didn't quite follow through to that.
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's
anyway.
true. It's about the commodification of everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because, well, like, what? Like, what are you gonna do with all the money you're hoarding?
Yeah.
Just I'm sorry. Let's
Sorry.
take a deep breath and let's return to this chapter because we have gone way off. And yes, the world is ending, but at least we'll be podcasting about it, I guess. I don't know.
That should be our slogan. We know the world's ending, but here we are. We're trying. Our slogan is just making the most of the world ending, trying to have a little fun while the world ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we?
So people being killed and
not trebuchets, the slingers. Yeah.
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 And Nurse forces them to watch it, which is
lovely.
He drops the nice facade at that point.
Yeah.
And they finally get to the Yellow Whale's camp, and it's literally spread over several acres, which is wild. And there's the humble tent that they called is actually like a palace.
Oh my
and
God.
There's a bunch of lesser tents around for like all his, attendants and whatever, but Tyrion and his special treasures, like anytime I say that, I'm saying it with quotes, just FYI folks, are going to be allowed to sleep inside the big tent so he can have them nice and easy on hand,
Every time he calls them his little darlings, and it's so distressing. I hate it.
Yeah. And then, so the first stop is to get them their collars, which are lightly gilded so that they shine in the light. And also, so I imagine, so that they follow the gold or yellow scheme of this guy that he's got going on. And Penny's sad because it's, like many reasons to be sad, but she's also just like, it's so heavy. And Tyrion is trying to comfort her and is being like, it's solid gold, like a Westerosi lady would kill to have a necklace like this. He's just trying to comfort her.
Yeah. Sad.
And they chain Jorah to a stake outside the tent because he's too gross and ugly to be taken inside.
Ouch.
Just wild. And then they go to like the alcove that is their sleeping area, and this is where they meet like the other quote unquote treasures. Yeah. And we had heard about some of them in that chapter, but the only one that they talk to is Sweets, who speaks High Valyrian amongst like 3 other languages. And Sweets is like, yeah, you want to be careful with Nurse. He's the true monster here. And Sweets also tells Tyrion about how the master like got some disease when he went to Sothros 10 years ago, and that he's dying slowly every day. So if you can make him forget that he's dying for even a little while, he can be most generous, but just don't deny him anything. Just do what he says. Which I don't really want to know exactly what he's gonna he might demand. But yeah. So they get like washed and dressed and get some clean clothes. So at least that's like pretty much the highlight of this chapter, is that they get some clean clothes.
For real.
In contrast to last chapter's Theon having to put on his wet clothes.
Oh my God! Right? Again, yes.
Yeah, and then so in the evening they're going to they're going to perform because the Supreme Commander guy is coming, and there's going to be a bunch of guests, and there's a whole party going on. They're going to perform, and then they're also going to serve after that. And so they have like a juggler and a dancer and a flautist and Tyrion's like, maybe I should ask him to play the Reigns of Castamere, but obviously he doesn't. And so
the human prune in the place of honor was evidently the youngest Supreme Commander.
Yeah,
who looked about as formidable as a loose stool. Tyrion never changed.
Yeah. So he's here, but he's brought a bunch of attendants, like other lords, and 2 of the Sellsword captains are there. One is the Pentoshi guy, which it's the Tattered Prince, in case you didn't pick up on that one.
Right.
The guy who sent the wind, not the wind. He's the head of the Windblown. He sent Quentin and his people to be like, go be on Dany's side for a bit in case she wins. So that so his loyalties may waver,
Yeah.
that. And then the other guy is obviously Brown Ben Plum, and Tyrion actually learns his name, and he's like, oh, he's a Westerosi and a Plum. So there's things may come of this.
Yeah.
And then it's their turn to
Okay,
perform.
I have an embarrassing question. Am I supposed to know that he's Westerosi?
Yes.
Okay, I forgot about that. When he said this, I was like, oh. I was like, is this new? What do you mean?
Remember, he even boasts, he's like, oh, I had an ancestor who was a Targaryen, which is why the dragons are so friendly to him and all of that.
Yes, I forgot the lore.
Yeah, I don't know if he's Westerosi as in, he himself has ever been to Westeros.
Or,
it might be that he's, descended from Westeros. And, Plum is a last name in Westeros. And... we've met a Plum before, but this was a Plum, Maynard Plum in the Dunk and Egg story, which we think actually was Bloodraven.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, so the Plums are Westerosi, basically.
Wow. Okay, slay.
Yeah. And that's why, Daenerys likes him too, her dragons like him, and he speaks the common tongue and all of those things,
Okay, nice.
And why she's so hurt when he betrays her,
right?
And you were like, no, it's Dario that betrayed her, and this guy is really on her side, and here he is dining and whining with all the bad people. What do you think now?
I mean, I guess I got which is so funny because George R. R. Martin was like, yeah, no, he betrayed her. And I was like,
no, I think the chapter when he's like, you have to use your dragons, and she's like, I won't, and he's like, I guess we'll lose. There's a lot of hints in that's he is not staying on the sinking ship any longer.
Yeah, well, I was just kind of blinded by the whole wow, Dany and her dragons like him. I was kind of stuck on that detail.
Yeah.
But no, that makes sense. I think even when I was like, he didn't betray her, and you pointed out the things in the chapter, I was like, oh. But I was like, no, he didn't. It's fine. But I also, here's my delusion. Here's where my delusion comes in. I think that, there's still a possibility that he shifts loyalties as the tides turn, and then Dany.
Well, he's clearly already done that twice. So
yeah. So I feel like he'll just keep doing that, because I also think this whole let me buy you guys, whatever. I think it's just he's trying real hard, which I think is never a sign of you're loyal,
Yeah, but I don't think sellsword companies are known for that.
Right.
The Younkish are just banking on we're paying them more and we're in the better position now, so they're gonna stick with us.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just thinking about how he could get back to Dany, and then Dany can kill him.
So Brown Ben could buy Tyrion, and then instead of selling him to Cersei, he gives him to Daenerys or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they perform their thing every time they fall or take a hit. It's very funny to everyone. At one point, Penny's helmet goes flying, and they put a rotten melon in there, so it looks like there's brains in there or something.
Yeah.
And this is when the guy leans over to the yellow whale and whispers something, and the yellow whale doesn't seem too pleased with it. I was wondering if this is when he asked him to take them, have them perform in the pits.
Right.
And the yellow whale was like, yeah, but maybe I want to keep him to myself. But he had to agree because it's a supreme commander and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, probably, especially because he really values his assets, quote unquote.
Yeah. So then they finish their
Also,
act.
sorry, as this is happening and like everyone's really enjoying it, Tyrion's like, contempt, thought Tyrion, the universal language. And I liked that little clock.
Yeah. Yes. Except I couldn't tell if it was like his contempt for them or their contempt for him.
I
Like,
just
what is he
because that's
talking
when
about?
he's like, oh, I see what you mean, because he is kind of like, um, it's like they're laughing at him, but he's making fun of them inside his head, so that makes sense too. He's like, yeah, wow, you think we're so funny. Not making fun of them, but he's like kind of mad at their actions, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
that's
prune of a guy who's a supreme commander, is he? Like, yeah, it was.
So I guess
because he's comparing it to like when Penny and her brother performed in King's Landing, and he's like, they laughed too. So is he like, oh, I had contempt for them, and I have contempt for these people?
I think he's like,
or is it that because they have contempt for us, they laugh at us, as did the people in King's Landing?
I think that's what I was thinking, but I also like your thing of like, he also has contempt right back. So it's really universal, because it's the people in King's Landing, it's the people here, and it's Tyrion in both situations.
Yeah. Okay. So they finish their act, they get changed, and now they have to be serving all night. And this is like, it's already been a long day, and Tyrion's like been whipped and all that stuff. Even though he got his wounds dressed, it's like they're opening up again, and he's bleeding through his shirt, and his legs are in knots. It's just all terrible.
Yeah.
And somebody asks him like what happened to his nose, and he's like, oh, it was cut off to punish me, even though he wants to say something snarky instead. And then one guy's like, oh, you were boasting of your skill at Syvas, like, why don't we have a go? And obviously Tyrion defeats the guy very easily. And then Brown Ben Plum is like, okay, let me have a go at the Syvas, and if I win, you have to give me Tyrion. And the Yellow Whale's like, no, but you can have what I paid for him in gold. Sorry, I'm just realizing what that means. Like, so he paid 5,000 silvers for Tyrion. He's gonna give Brown Ben Plum 5,000 gold coins, which is quite a lot more.
Yeah.
But then obviously Brown Ben Plum loses, so he ends up paying. So he really
so much more, which is so funny because he stopped bidding because it was too much, but now he's having to pay so much more back.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the deal, and they get playing. Tyrion wins the first game, Plum wins the second, but all this time Tyrion's like observing his style of play and reading him for filth, basically. Like, oh, I see, you look nice, but really you know, it's actually, I want to read it because it's actually well written. Not actually well written as if like George R. Martin doesn't well write things, but like
but you're just emphasizing.
Yeah, Plum had an amiable look to him, especially when he smiled. The faithful retainer, Tyrion decided, every man's favorite uncle, full of chuckles and old sayings and rough-spun wisdom. And that's kind of how Dany saw this guy. So he's also reading her for filth. It was all sham. Those smiles never touched Plum's eyes, where greed hid behind a veil of caution. Hungry but wary, this one.
Wow.
His play was stolid and tenacious rather than bold. His opening arrays were different every time, yet all the same. Conservative, defensive, passive. He does not play to win, Tyrion realized. He plays so as not to lose.
Wow.
So
Dany,
that's like,
you needed Tyrion from the beginning.
And this is also Tyrion probably realizing that like if he realizes that he's on the losing side, he's gonna switch sides. Like,
yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. And then they play like 5 games, and Tyrion wins like 4 of them. And so Tyrion's the winner. And after that, he goes back to pouring wine once again.
Mm-hmm.
With the yellow whale considerably richer and brown band plum considerably impoverished.
Oh my god.
And then finally the Supreme Commander guy leaves, and then everybody's like, okay, I guess it's time to leave. And then they leave, and then Tyrion and all the other serving people are like told to have their dinner from the leftovers.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure there are leftovers, but like lots of leftovers, but that's besides the point. Like it's just so insulting.
And they're like, get it all cleaned up before you go to bed.
Yeah, like so demeaning. Just like Yeah. So they eat, I suppose, and then they clean up, and as they're doing that, is it nurse that comes in? No, it just says the overseer. So I think the overseer is different from nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So some guy comes in and is like, y'all did well. So well, in fact, that the Supreme Commander asked you to perform in the pits and to celebrate the signing of the peace. That's what you'll do. You shall have the honor of jousting in the great pit of Daznak. Which I imagine is a pit in Marine. Like, I don't know. So what do you think of that? That might get them into the gates of Marine, but will it mean freedom for them?
I have no idea. Because I think it's like, so it's like the signing of the peace and whatever, and like I know that like Dany's out of it, but she's gotta attend the signing of like the peace treaty and whatever, right?
Right. Pretty big deal.
So she shows up, and then also it would be so interesting if Jorah is part of their act for this one. Like if they do the Bear and the Maiden Fair, or if they just do like what they're, because then it's like, then
she's gotta recognize Jorah.
Exactly, she's gotta, you know. And
but will she be like, this motherfucker, let him die, or will she try to intervene?
I feel like she will try to intervene, maybe, just because I think she might also be like, because she hasn't like heard about Tyrion, or she has, right? But she's not like out here thinking about Tyrion like she thinks about the Kingslayer, or like she thinks about Tywin, or right?
Yeah, I don't think so. Because also, like, Tyrion was like a kid when all that happened, so he wasn't really super involved in it.
I guess the only thing I was thinking is like maybe she's heard about how he was the Hand for a while and doing things, but because, you know, he had kind of a bad reputation there. But I guess it wasn't really like an overseas reputation. It was more of a in Westeros reputation.
Even more so like in King's Landing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was the King's Landing people who were like, oh, he's screwing us over. That's true. Yeah, so, yeah, like, I don't think she would recognize him, but I feel like if Jorah was there, then it would be like oh, who are these people with Jorah? How did he end up, like, maybe Tyrion gives Jorah a pep talk, and he's like, you gotta talk to the queen. We gotta find a way. But also, like, we've seen what happens when they try, and I feel like Tyrion has sort of been dissuaded of that idea. So, but maybe if they're inside the walls, it'll be a little bit easier. Or maybe they can be like, queen, can we please have a private audience with you? Like, we entertained you. Like, maybe it's a little bit different than them trying to escape, so maybe it could work, you know? Just because I feel like...
Yeah, or maybe she'll be so amused by their act that she'll be like, I want to see it in my private room over there.
That would be kind of the last straw for Dany. Like, there would not be coming back from that. Yeah, I feel like maybe, but you know what I do hope for? Maybe it's like her recognizing, I was going to say Theon. He's not Theon, he's Jorah. That's an insult to Theon.
It honestly is.
Maybe her recognizing Jorah, and like, maybe this stuff going down might be like the last straw she needs to like sort of
get her shit together.
Yeah, like maybe it's like, oh my god, like, and like maybe it'll be like, it might be an ego thing, like it might be like, this guy who was part of like my court for so long Is it like, I don't know, it might even just be an ego thing, but I just
like
feel like
who
it's
this
not...
guy, like Jorah?
Jorah, yeah. And now, like, look at where he's ended up. Like, not in like a like, oh, they enslaved the guy from my thing because they didn't know, right? But just in like a, maybe she'll flash back and be like, man, look at how downhill things have gone since Jorah left. Not because Jorah left, but since Jorah left.
Yeah.
Still, you know?
Well, she's also had some thoughts like, I kind of miss my old bear, which, like, we
don't
stat.
condone, but she has
Yeah.
definitely sort of been there. Yeah, which is also why I think, like, seeing him in the fighting pits is definitely going to stir something in her, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll be married and live happily ever after. After all.
But I also feel like, I think, okay, I also, like, because the Yunkai, like, the guy who, you know, the person who was enslaved, who was, like, carrying their cart, who was like, yeah, that bitch Daenerys, you know? And we were like, homie, you're not on her side? Okay. But he kind of was like, yeah, things will be fine as long as she, like, stays with his Dar and listens to him and, like, whatever. And then even, like, these guys are like, yeah, we're gonna send you to celebrate the signing of the peace. So, like, okay, so Yunkai and Marine are gonna, so, like, the peace is gonna be signed and they're gonna be good. Did his Dar like, I just want to know the ins and outs of this. Like, when did this happen? Was this, like, because I know even before the wedding, his Dar was like, yeah, they just want you to back off and then they'll back off, you know? Like, so was the, like, you know, I just want to know how this is coming about. Are they just loyal to his Dar? Are they like, Dany, if you open your mouth, we're gonna fight you again? Like, what are the dynamics? What's going on, you know? Are they gonna just be freely let into the city?
So what you're saying is you want a Daenerys chapter.
Maybe, unfortunately, I guess I do, don't I? Yeah, because I also just feel like it's like, yeah, especially, like, if she gets her head out of her ass now, we can still salvage this. And, like, it just is like, man, like, the Astapori are literally, like, dying outside your walls. And I know that you've, like, tried to help as much as you can while also sort of being, like, besieged.
I do wonder if there are any Astapori left, because there's,
yeah.
like, because now the Yunkish are here. Like, did they...
Yeah, we didn't
leave them alone, like, that. You know?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So, yeah, it just is like, I just need her to do this before things get worse than they already have. And it just, yeah, like, they're dying, and it just is like, these guys are just feasting and chilling and, like, having auctions. Like, so it just is like, girl, we need to get on the road, you know?
Yeah. You need to get on something, but yeah. Okay, predictions. They're gonna perform. We already, like, we went down that road.
Yeah,
what about the being surrounded by the bloody flux thing? Is that going to impact them in any way?
I think so. I think it's gonna be bad for the Yunkai, because they don't.
Not the Yunkai. I mean Tyrion, like our people. Like, Tyrion... yeah, it's already bad for the Yunkai.
Tyrion and Penny and Jorah will be fine. They're in enough
such
misery.
Faith you have.
We don't also need the flux. Like, come on. She who knows nothing says confidently. But
the Yunkish, before I interrupted you and was mean, the Yunkish as a whole are going to suffer.
Yes, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna help us.
Imagine if somehow only, like, all the leaders got sick and died. Like, they've got enslaved people preparing their food and shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, how can you enslave people and be confident that they're not spitting in your food every night? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I just went down a whole, like, okay, maybe they have guards, but then are the guards enslaved people or are they free people? But, like, this whole thing.
I mean, that's the thing, though, right? The whole system hinges on them not doing that.
Yeah. This is given me a little bit of the Sunrise on the Reaping, like, you know? They only succeed because we don't do anything, but why is it that we don't do anything? Like, it's all complicated. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this book here. Jaime.
Oh my god, my king. My king. Only because Rob's dead, but still.
King Slayer, you mean?
Ooh.
So he has...
You know, it's so funny. Every time they call him Kingslayer, it's supposed to be like this, like, terrible insult, right? It's like the sin of sins, right? Every time they call him Kingslayer, I just think it's hot. I'm like, yeah, he killed a king, like, what about it? You know? Like...
Yeah. Yes, you would.
Oh,
you
wait,
would.
Kinslayer is the one that's like, this is the most deplorable thing in the world. But they hate Kingslayers too. Yes.
Yeah. Well, kings, not in general, but specifically
Your
the
own
one who
king.
was sworn to protect the
Yes.
king, killing the king. Like, it's the
Yes.
dishonorable thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, he's pulling up to Raventree Hall on his horse Honor. If you remember, he has 2 horses, one Honor, one Glory. And I think it is, like, intentional that he goes here on Honor and not on Glory, you know?
Yeah.
So we get, like, you know, Raventree Hall, it's so old that their towers are square because this is from before builders figured out that you should have round towers because they deflect things better. Like, that's how old this place is.
Little lore. I love
Yeah.
that.
And it's in, like, the Blackwood Vale, but there's not any woods to be seen around because they have been chopped down a long time ago. And yeah.
Okay, can you remind me where they are right now?
In the Riverlands.
Is there anything more specific? Because I look at the map and I get nothing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
They're close to Pennytree. Close to the Teats.
But all of those are such small landmarks.
Yeah. Where... I think if I Google it, I could probably find it on a map somewhere. I'll show you later. But it's somewhere in the Riverlands. I would imagine it's somewhere between, like, River Run and Heron Hall. Like, somewhere in the middle there.
Interesting.
You know? They don't mention any, like, major rivers right by. So, like, maybe a little off the river. Maybe it's, like, closer to the Westerlands, like Castle Rock, because... they were all of the Riverlands were impacted by the war, but maybe they were closer and more in range of fire. I don't know. They're there somewhere. Okay, what are we doing? Yes, Blackwood Vale. They keep the old gods, and they were kings back in the day. And you can see the heart tree from way far away.
Bran, help us.
Yeah. Although later we learned that this tree is dead and dying, so, like...
yes.
I wonder if can they still hang out in that tree, or...
Yeah, I do wonder, though, because the tree gets, like, ravens come into it every night, and it's, like, poisoned and whatever, and I'm like, wait, the thing where Bran physically is, that tree also be getting ravens every night? Because of, what's his name? Bloodraven? His name literally has Raven.
Well, if you remember, Bloodraven was the son of a Blackwood, so...
Oh, I didn't remember that.
His mom's Missy.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I was like, okay, there's definitely some sort of connection there, but that also, because you know how we don't know yet if Bloodraven's good or bad, or what does it even mean to be good or bad, but, you know, but in the context of this universe, so I'm just kind of like, is this a bad sign? Because this tree is poisoned, and they're like,
well, it was poisoned by the bracken, so...
Yeah, but I'm just like, is it like, because like now I'm thinking because Bloodraven was a Bracken, is that why the
No, Bloodraven was a Blackwood.
yes. Bloodraven is a Blackwood. Like maybe that's why the tree's getting all the ravens. Because it's like his like home.
But it's been getting
country.
ravens for thousands of years.
Oh, oops. I don't know. That I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just was
maybe
like,
not thousands, but like at least 1,000.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I was like, are you evil? When will you be evil?
Yeah, or is Bloodraven connected to ravens because he was born into this house, you know, like
mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting.
all of those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jaime's pulling up and he's looking around. He's like, I see all the destruction that my dad caused.
Oh god.
There's burnt lands, bones and shit everywhere.
Oh my god.
And as he comes up, I don't know why I keep saying that, but he sees that it's not a very large siege that Jonas Bracken has mounted on this castle here. Like he's got like 500 people and there's no siege towers. They're just hanging out waiting for them to starve basically. And like they're not even fighting anymore. Half a year into it, everyone was too tired for such nonsense.
LOL.
Boredom and routine had taken over the enemies of discipline.
LOL, that's so funny.
And yeah, so he's thinking like, okay, we got River Run, and after we get this one, I will be free to go to King's Landing. And then I have to face Cersei, given that she's not killed by then.
Oh my god.
And he's thinking back to when he rejected her, and he's like, even if I had gone back, I can't save her. She's guilty of every treason they have accused her of, and I don't have a fighting hand. So what did she expect? I guess she was just like, the power of our love will conquer all, even though I don't know if I really love you, but you should love me because that's how things be.
Yeah, I think she just was desperate and she was hoping he would be desperate enough to do whatever it took.
Their relationship is so messed up. Like, I don't even know if love exists. Like, it's just like they're just like parasites on each other, you know?
True.
Yeah. So he goes to the tent of Jonas Bracken and the guards are like, hey, can we announce you? They're clearly trying to prevent him from storming in. But he's like, no, I'll do it myself. And he walks in and obviously finds this guy in the throes of passion.
They were well and truly at it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, that's so funny. And they don't even notice that he shows up, so he's like there for a few moments before he like
yeah. And and Jonas Bracken, like in his hurry, like goes to grab his sword to be like, who the hell is interrupting me? But grabs like the sword part of the sword and not the hilt, and is just like cut himself and is scrambling to get dressed. And the woman he's having sex with, her name is Hildy, yes. And she's like trying to cover herself up, but not quite succeeding. And they're just having like...
No, it was so funny. He's like, you took me unawares, my lord. I was not told of your coming, and I seem to have prevented yours. Is Jaime's response. And I was like, he's so funny. I miss Jaime. Oh.
I don't know. But they do have a bit of back and forth. You got your pants on backwards. Just all the things. And she's like
her nipples to Cersei's in his mind.
Yeah.
I like to think this is him finally considering other women and being like, could I, you know?
Yes, I agree. This is probably that. Now, I think there's a theory that Hildy is a spy for the Brotherhood Without Banners.
Really?
And I don't remember what the evidence for that is.
Mm.
I think it might be because, remember, this book also took like 6 years to come out. So in the meantime, George R. R. Martin had like read a chapter or two at some point. And maybe like there, like in a previous version of a chapter, it was revealed that she was a spy, or maybe not.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm trying to remember what the evidence was, but I don't have any.
Yeah.
But coming across her here, I was like, this tickles something in my brain, but I can't quite grasp at what it is.
That's interesting. Yeah, maybe it's also just because she's being very like forward here or something.
Yeah, but like it would be nice if we then see her like Jaime goes with Brienne to get killed and she's there, and then they can pick up where they left off, and
LOL.
maybe she's found her shoe by then, which
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, so she can't find her shoe. She just like finds what she can and leaves. And oh yeah, she's like, oh, do you want to buy my turnips, which is like their little joke they have going on. And he's like, don't you see that I have a white cloak? And she's like, yeah, but I also see that you have a gold hand. And what is it? I like that in a man with a solid gold hand. Well, it's how many men with solid gold hands have you come across? What is it that you like in a woman, my lord? And he says, innocence. And she's like, I asked in a woman, not a daughter, which sends him thinking about Marcella and being like, oh, I guess I have to tell her too, which is going to suck for the Dornish because they wanted to marry Robert's kid.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. And then he's
so
like,
he's like made up his mind that he's going to tell everyone. Like,
yeah.
This is new, right? Like, this is new.
I think so. Yeah. No. I love Jaime, but his political mindedness sort of needs...
Or is he just like, Cersei's gonna get, found out for her treasons, and then it's gonna be known anyway. But he says, I will need to tell her too. Or is he just like, once it comes out, I'm gonna have to like actually have a talk with her?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if he thinks that the Cersei stuff... I don't think he's thinking that much in detail about the Cersei stuff. I think he's trying really hard not to think about it. I think he just means more so like you know how he like wants to be a father figure now or whatever?
Right.
So
he wants to be a better person.
So I think he's like, oh yeah, I've been talking to my son, but I totally forgot about my daughter. I should probably talk to her too at some point, like... I know he's not exactly a deadbeat dad, but it's a little bit like deadbeat dad realizes he has a daughter too. Like,
yeah. No, he is a deadbeat dad. These poor kids, they had like 3 parents and none of them were competent. Like,
yeah.
Okay, all right. So, he's like, I've sworn a vow. And then she's like, no turnips for you then. And then finally Janos orders her out. And then Jaime's like, how's your wife, pray tell? And apparently all she does now is pray, because when the Lannisters burned down their castle, she decided that the gods were punishing them. So now all she does is pray. Which is, I guess, somehow supposed to excuse the fact that he's sleeping with everybody else, but whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And Jaime is like, so have you come across Brynden Blackfish by any chance? And Bracken is like, yeah, I like the guy, but I would turn him over. Like, I've sworn my thing. I've done the thing. Like, and... yeah, just they're having a conversation about like what's going on. Yeah. And inside Jaime is like, you bent your knee, but really maybe it's Blackwood who's more honorable because he held out to the last minute, like, instead of you that jumped ship too quickly.
Right.
And yeah, like, why haven't you been able to subdue him? Like, what's going on? And he's like, I need more men. But Jaime's like, if yeah, I give you the men, then it's me that's doing the subduing, not you. Besides, we're not going to need that because what I plan to do is offer him terms, and he'll have to confess and pledge allegiance and do all that, but also pay reparations and give up a hostage, like all those things. And Bracken immediately is like, take his daughter. He loves his daughter. Take his daughter. Like, he doesn't like his sons as much.
Yeah.
And he's like, take his daughter, and also make sure he gives us this leg-long list of lands that we want.
Yeah.
Like,
all the land they've ever taken from us.
Yeah, I literally just like skimmed right over that because I was like, this is too many places.
Yeah, literally.
Obviously, I made note of the teats, Barbara's teats, but Missy's teats, as the Blackwoods call them, and then we later learned the history that I say Barbara, but it's Barba actually. I just
autocomplete.
Yes. Barba was a Bracken who Aegon the Unworthy took as a mistress. And then when he got tired of her, he took Melissa, I think, Blackwood, who they called Missy, as a mistress. And so Barba was the mother of the Blackfire Rebellion king. Darren, what was his name? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
Okay, so Aegon the Unworthy had a bunch of bastards. 2 of them were these women's kids. Missy's kid was Bloodraven, who stayed loyal to the Targaryens. And Barba's kid was the Blackfire, who got the Blackfire sword and was like, now I'm king.
Right.
And caused a rebellion. I forget his name. I think it was Darren or Damon or something.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And I think it was Damon Blackfire. I think Damon sounds more right.
Maybe. You've said it too many times. Now the words mean nothing to me.
We know generally who we're talking about, even if we don't remember the exact name, right?
Exactly.
So obviously, I feel like the reason... And that's like also plays into like the Blackens versus Blackwoods. Like even in that conflict, they were on opposing sides.
Right. And they were like super involved with the people. Like that way, I feel like that's like a big one. Cause like with this, like the... Wait, I have a question. So, okay. The Brackens have been on Robb's side. And the Blackwoods were always on the Lannister side, right? During these books?
Sorry, the Blackwoods?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were both on Robb's side until after the Red Wedding, when Bracken went over to the Lannisters.
Oh, okay. So before the Red Wedding, they were supposed to be on the same side. They just hated each other. And
which
had their
was,
own
yeah,
stuff going on.
it was like a thing of note. Like when they
Right.
swear fealty to Robb, it's like a big thing, like that they're on the same side. Like even like
Right.
Catelyn's like, for the first time in history, they have agreed on something.
Right. KK, yeah. And then even in this chapter, they're like, we come together for kings all the time. It just never lasts, you know?
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Where were we? What was I saying?
That they were on Robb's side.
That they
or
were
not.
on Robb's side. Oh, yeah. I was just trying to remember who was on whose side. But basically... Okay, let's move on. I don't remember what my exact thoughts were.
Yeah, so he's like, I want all of these lands.
Yeah.
And Jaime's like, that's like a quarter of like your lands. Like that's 25% increase. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
And and then he asks about the village between the teats called Pennytree. And Bracken's like, yeah, it's like a royal fief, so you can keep that, but I want the rest stolen by the Blackwoods. Now, do you remember Pennytree?
That's where the old man was, right?
What old man?
In like Dunkin' Egg and aren't they in Pennytree?
No.
Oh,
Dunks. Okay. the knight that he squired for was Sir Arlen of Pennytree. And Dunk thinks that he's never himself been to Pennytree.
He thinks that Sir Arlen has never been to Pennytree? Or
No. Dunk has never been to Pennytree.
Oh, but Sir Arlen was from Pennytree. Oh, okay, understood. Okay, that's what I was remembering. Because I was like, it was in Dunk and Egg, right? Oh, okay. Oh my god, so is someone's grandpa Sir Arlen?
Sir Arlen had a nephew that we heard about at one point, but I don't think we've heard of any other descendants.
Okay, interesting. Because, wait, Sir Arlen of Pennytree, why was he going around doing...
He was a hedge knight.
Why was he a hedge knight?
Because he wasn't sworn to any house.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Oh my god, I had a brain moment. You know what it was? You know what the brain moment was? Because I was like, how can he call himself of Pennytree if he's not if he doesn't own lands or whatever? And then I was like, he's from Penny. I could still be Harmit of Winnipeg, even if I'm not the mayor of Winnipeg. It just wasn't, I know, but brain wasn't computing. So I was like, wait, plot hole. I was like,
you really thought you had something.
I really did. I was like, how can he be from Pennytree if he's not the Lord? And then I was like, wait. LOL. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh my god, fun. Okay, do people have theories about this?
None that I know of. Okay. I think I told you what the connection is.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, okay, so Jaime's like, that's a lot you're asking for, given that you actually haven't achieved your goal. So we'll see.
So true.
Maybe you can get part of what you wish for since you accomplished part of your goal.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy's got everything marked on a map and everything, and Jaime's like, okay, I guess I'll take this, and I'm gonna go talk to those guys over there now. And this is where Jaime throws shade at him for oh, so you did you were with the Starks until suddenly you weren't. And honestly, this is the one thing the guy says that I didn't disagree with. He's like, I saw no sense in dying for the dead and nor shedding Bracken blood in a lost cause. Obviously, I don't want it to be a lost cause or believe that it's a lost cause, but I get that this guy was doing the pragmatic thing.
Yeah.
And Jaime's like, yes, it's very prudent of you. But in his head, he's like, not the most honorable, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and...
Yeah, you'll get part of your lands since you partly subdued the Blackwoods, and that funny. Seems good enough for Lord Jodos.
Yeah.
And
I have a theory.
Okay.
I think that both the Brackens and the Blackwoods are playing this is not a thing, and they're back on the rebellion side. They've been contacted and they're good now.
And what's going to happen to their hostages?
But you know what I also think? I think that they both think that the other house is still with the Lannisters. So they also want to declare...
So they're still opposed to each other, even though they somehow in secret are actually working for the same cause?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that theory.
Yeah. And then it might be a conflict because they'll be like, wait, we both are still declaring for Rob, you know?
Yeah. The only hole I would poke is that even if they're secretly both aligned with the Brotherhood, why would they encourage Jaime to take hostages from the others? Why do they want the other house that they might need on their side at some point to have something at stake with the Lannisters?
Okay, I think you misunderstood what I'm saying. I'm saying that they both don't know that they aren't loyal to, the Blackwoods don't know that the Brackens aren't still loyal to Rob, and the
Yeah, but taking hostages is still to the benefit of the Lannisters. Why would they want the Lannisters to benefit?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right, regardless, why would you? Well, that's true. I don't know, maybe they just are like, I gotta give good counsel to play up the act, you know? Or maybe it's like the hate goes so far that they're like, yeah, take that guy's daughter, you know?
I guess. Okay. All right. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Jaime leaves. He goes up to the castle with the peace banner. They let him in. And Lord Tytos Blackwood greets him in the yard and is like, I can't say you're welcome, but I also won't deny that I have hoped that you might come. Because the guy's like, I'm willing to yield, but I'll yield to the king, not to that bracken out there. And he's like, so should I kneel here right now? And Jaime looks around and is like, there's a bunch of people watching. It's cold and dirty. Let's do it in the solar, if you will.
Oh my god.
And so they, retreat to the solar to have a one-on-one. And he's looking out the window at the weirwood tree that is dead and dying. And it's because the brackens poisoned it. And that happened like 1,000 years ago because it hasn't shown a leaf in 1,000 years.
Wow.
And in another 1,000, it will apparently have turned to stone because the weirwoods never rot.
That's so cool.
So maybe this tree is more permanent than any other tree.
Yeah. Oh.
And Jaime's like, it's famous for its ravens. Where are they now? They apparently come at dusk and roost all night, hundreds of them, and they cover the tree like black leaves, every limb and every branch. And they have been coming for thousands of years. How or why, no man can say, yet the tree draws them every night.
Wow.
So I think, like, the Blackwoods have, like, that connection to the old gods. And I think that's why, like, Bloodraven has the ability, like, he was born a seer, a green seer, and all of that. So it's, it makes sense that, like, from the longest time they've had this power and have attracted, the ravens, which are drawn to this power.
That makes sense.
And maybe now that Bloodraven is, like, doing his, three-eyed crow thing, he's inside some of these ravens and he keeps an eye on his house.
That would be so cute. Oh, it's like Bran keeping an eye on his things. And that also gives so much sadness to, what's his name? Bloodraven telling Bran, like, you can watch, but you can't change things.
Yeah.
So it's like,
like maybe he tried talking through this tree to his loved ones and he was never successful. Yeah.
So is Bran girl bossing more then? And then I also think it's nice because it's like, because you know how, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm remembering, okay? So one of the reasons why the most common type of skin changing is warging is also because it's like the most similar creature to humans or whatever, right? Like that was a thing.
I don't remember that being a thing.
Okay, or like something. There's something along those lines that I'm thinking of, but whatever. But basically,
maybe just like, that like wolves, like it's how we domesticated wolves into dogs. Like they just have been like connected with humans for so long, like
and
not also, that they're similar to humans, but that they've just like especially with the Starks, like
Yeah, right. Like it's like like what we were talking about last time, like it's easiest to warg into creatures that trust you and you have a bond with and all the things. So that makes sense. So then I'm kind of like, it's kind of like them with crows and them with wolves. And it's like, that's the power. Like that's like how what's his name? Bloodraven. Oh my God, I always forget his name. He's Bloodraven and he's from Blackwood. It's just too many words. And he, like how
Blackwood, which has the castle Raven Tree in it, like
oh my God.
just like all the
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. So he has that connection with like the ravens, and so he's able to use that. But then like maybe Bran can maybe Bran can team up with like Arya's army down in the south, like
Arya's
army.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm like, I wonder like how that same power could look, but with
the wolves are gonna have their own red wedding. Like,
oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah. So trees. Okay, so the guy's like, can I ask what happened to Edmure? And Jaime's like, yeah, he's on his way to Casterly Rock. His wife is going to be at the Twins until she gives birth. And then she and the kid are going to join him, also in Casterly Rock. And as long as he doesn't try to escape or plot rebellion, he'll live a long life. And Blackwood's like, yeah, long and bitter, a life without honor. And Jaime's like, yeah, but like in his head, he's like, yeah, but he was trying to save his kid, which is like, what can you do?
Yeah. No, they both of them, the Blackwood guy and the, what's the other one?
Bracken.
Thank you. The Blackwood and the Bracken guy, they've been spouting off about honor, man. They're doing something.
Was Bracken saying things about honor?
I think he was. Let me see. You continue. Let me see if he was.
Okay. So then he asks about Brynden Blackfish, and Jaime's like, yeah, I offered that he could take the black, but instead he fled. You don't happen to have him in your attics by any chance? And Blackwood's like, no. Jaime's like, would you tell me if you did? And obviously Blackwood is like, yeah. He just smiles.
That was funny.
And he asks, like, is this where you want me to kneel? And Jaime's like, I mean, you can, or we can just say you did. Like, we don't have to actually go through the formalities, which, like, he's being really friendly here. Like, like Tywin would have been like, no, you kneel, like, and you kneel in front of the entire world so that they can see that I subjugated you and all of that bullshit.
That's fine. The thing I was criticizing Jaime for was the taking. I don't think he should have just taken the hostage the guy wanted him to take. And that feels like that feels like a big failure.
But at the end he's like, don't forget, I won't hesitate to kill you. I also think Jaime's probably like, I can probably take the head of a 16-year-old kid more easily than like an 8-year-old child. Like, that's true. He's thinking like,
it's funny.
Which promise is he going to be able to keep more?
Right. Because now he's got his whole honor and keeping his promises things going. No, it is fun to see his struggle, though, because he's like, wait, I got to maintain the Kingslayer reputation. Wait, I got to maintain Tywin's reputation. But, like, at the end of the day,
I think he does it well. Like, he shows kindness and that, like, he builds trust with this guy. Yeah. But he also leaves with the threat, like, don't fuck with me. Like, he does both of them.
Yeah, but I still think you should not be taking the hostage the person tells you to take. Like, I think
that's fine. But this kid's got so much knowledge. Like, we can learn so much backstory from him.
We can, but Jaime does not give a rat's ass about that. He's like, yeah, Tyrion, which was kind of sad. Every time he thought about how he would, like, compare him to Tyrion, he'd be like, they could have some long verbal marathons about this shit together.
Yeah, but I also do think, like, say Jaime, it comes down to he has to kill the kid. I think he I don't know if he would be able to kill the 8-year-old. Like,
yeah, but it's not about that. The point is, I feel like it's more likely that you don't have to kill the kid if it's the hostage that's, like, the guy really didn't want to.
Yeah, I guess I agree with you. I don't know.
Yeah, but, like, yeah, no, I agree. Like, other than that, like, I don't, like, I know I jokingly was like, he's spitting on his father's legacy, but, like, in a good way. He should spit on his father's legacy. His father has a bad legacy. But this is the one moment where I'm like, should have been Tywin, buddy. Should have been Tywin, you know? Also, the thing I was looking for, I wasn't thinking of, Bracken wasn't spouting off about honor, but he had a moment where he was like, oh, hello. He was talking about how, or this was when Jaime was questioning Bracken's loyalties, and he was like, well, you did declare for Stark, and you were there until Walder killed him. And then he's like, yeah, actually murdered him, not killed him, and a dozen good men of my own blood. And I was like, contempt? Hello? You know?
Right. So he doesn't love the phrase either. So
yeah. And he's like, hey, I saw no use in bending for a lost cause. But I'm like, but if you found out that the cause was no longer lost,
right,
would you do what your heart wanted?
Okay, that makes sense.
especially like with him being so
It's giving
willing.
like Brown Ben Plum a little.
Yeah, and also with him being so willing to just settle for what he can get with the castles. Like, I know it's like the thing of like, say you want more than what you're willing to settle for. So it's like he probably knew he wasn't going to get everything he wanted, but still, just the fact that he just was like, fine, we'll just get like 2 of our things back, you know? I feel fishy. It feels fishy.
Okay.
I feel fishy.
All right. I'll let you stew in that fish and we'll move on. So they do the, confession, fealty, pardon, certain sum of gold and silver to be paid. And now you got to hand over some lands. And the guy like names a ruin, a ridge, and a hovel. And Jaime's like, you got to give more than that. Come on. He'll want at least one of the mills because they're a valuable source of tax. And so the guy agrees to give him Lord's Mill. And he doesn't want to give the Cairns village because he has like ancestors buried there. So he's like, he can have a honey tree instead.
Yeah.
Maybe the sweet will rot his teeth. And and then they come to the matter of the captive, the hostages. And Jaime's like, so I hear you have a daughter. And he's like, yeah, Bethany, she's only 8, a gentle girl full of laughter. And I have never been away from her. But I have a bunch of kids. I have a bunch of sons. You can take one of them. Ben is 12 and thirsty for adventure. He could squire for you. And Jaime's like, I got squires coming out of my pores. There's too many squires around.
Which is so funny.
And Jaime's like, but I thought you had 6 sons, not 4. And the guy has to be like, yeah, well, my youngest died because y'all starved us. And the other died at the Red Wedding. So fuck y'all. And also, the Freys have not seen it fit to return his bones to me yet. And Jaime's like, I'm going to make that happen. Which I hope that he wrote that letter before he got persuaded by Brienne to leave.
Right. Yeah, also, what was I gonna say? Hold on. Yeah, also, like, obviously, hold on. One of your kids being held hostage sucks because it's like they're away from you for so long and whatever and all the things, and you can't, like, train them to do the thing. But, also, if you weren't gonna betray them, why would you be so worried about little old Beth? Why would you go from looking stricken to looking so relieved? If you had no plan of betrayal.
Like, if you don't want your favorite kid to be away from you.
I know, but I don't think it's just that.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Live in your delusions then. Yeah, so now he's got his eldest kid, Brendan, who's the heir. Hoster, who was like the 3rd kid, but
has become the 2nd.
Yeah, exactly. Hoster, he's a bookish boy, I fear, he says. And Jaime's like, they have books in King's Landing. I'm sure we can keep him occupied. I'll accept him as your hostage. And Blackwood's like, sure, he'll be ready ASAP. But also, if I may suggest, you should get a hostage from Jonas as well.
LOL.
And obviously, he's not man enough to have fathered a son. But, so you take one of his daughters. And earlier, the guy Bracken was talking about how his bastard son was killed in the war. And Jaime brings that up. And apparently, it's a bit of a question whether Harry was actually his bastard or not. He didn't look anything like Jonas, apparently. So, I don't know. I thought that was just like, that was funny. That's like, yeah, he says he had a son, he had a bastard son, but really, it was probably some other guy's son. So he invites Jaime to have dinner, and Jaime's like, yeah, y'all are already starving. I'm not going to be a burden on you. I got to get back to River Run.
I love how efficient Jaime is in these chapters. Like, he be barging in on people.
Just getting shit done.
He be like, I don't have much time. Hurry up. Like, it just, I'm like, go, party planner, go, you know?
Yeah. And so he came from Riverrun. He's going to go back to Riverrun, but eventually he'll be going to King's Landing. Mm-hmm. And so his son gets ready. They meet outside by the stables. And it's like a 16-year-old kid who's like tall and gangly. And he's got a bunch of scrolls, which love that. Funny. And then this is when he pulls out the stern mm-hmm. I could kill you voice. Like,
yeah,
the kid's like, they call me Haas. Yeah, and he's like, who's they? I'm not your friend or your brother. Like, and he's like, I was kind here, but that doesn't mean that I will hesitate to send you your son's head if you go against me or try to harbor the Brotherhood or any of these people. Mm-hmm. And, yeah. And I'm not Ryman Frey, so I don't make empty threats. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is when, no, all trace of warmth had left Lord Blackwood's mouth. I know who I am dealing with, Kingslayer. Jaime's like, good. Mm-hmm. Have a good harvest and the joy of the king's peace. And he leaves.
Oh my god.
And he meets up with Bracken outside and he's like, yeah, all's done. Go home. Get planting. And he's like, I guess I have more fields to plant than before. And Jaime's like, yeah. You have all of this and you have the mill and blah, blah, blah. Now, get out of my face.
Oh my god.
But before you get out of my face, do send one of your daughters to King's Landing so that she may have the privilege of attending the Queen Regent.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised this guy wasn't like, is there even a Queen Regent left to attend to? Like, or has that news not traveled to others around here? Or will that be his like way to weasel out of this? Like,
right.
Well, I heard she's in prison, so my daughter can hang out here until she's not,
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, but Jaime's like, yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor, so LOL. Make sure this honor is completed within the year. Like,
LOL.
We'll look for her. And then he leaves.
That's funny.
And he takes a different route to going back to Riverrun than they took getting to Raventree, mm-hmm. because he's hoping he'll run into either the Blackfish or the Brotherhood so that he can like lure them into an unwise attack. So I'm like, does he actually have a much larger or much better force than they think? Like,
or is this just Jaime with his Jaime ways of being impatient and being like, let's get the fight? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, do you have people for that? Like,
yeah, I don't know. So anyway, he takes a long route, but then it takes longer. So then they end up having to make camp somewhere, and they decide to camp in Pennytree between the Teats. Mm-hmm. And we learned the story of Barba and Missy, mm-hmm. and all of that. So they get in talking, like him and Hoster are mm-hmm. talking about there was this rivalry between the Brackens and the Blackwoods. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. And just like how it goes back to when earlier Bracken was talking, he was like, we were kings and they usurped us. And this kid is like, we were kings and they usurped us back in the Age of Heroes. And no one really knows when it started, because this was like 4,000 or 1,000 years ago. Like, who knows? The historians can't even agree when the Andals came, and this happened like hundreds, if not thousands of years before them. It's all hazy and confused.
Dude.
And Jaime's thinking, like, Tyrion was like this kid. They could argue about books and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for a second, he forgets that he's actually mad at Tyrion. But yeah. And he's like, okay, all these years, you would think that somebody would have made a peace. And Hoster's like, yeah, someone did. Many someones.
Mm-hmm.
There have been 100 pieces, many sealed marriages. Like, there's Blackwood blood in all Brackens and Bracken blood in all Blackwoods.
Oh my
but
God.
something or other happens, and then we go back to fighting again.
Ugh.
And because there's like all this history behind it, there can never be an end to it. And Jaime's like, my father had a saying too. Never wound a foe when you can kill him. Dead men don't claim vengeances. And Hoster's like, yeah, but their kids will. And Jaime's basically like, why don't you cast a mirror the fuck out of these guys?
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, so is that why you killed all those Starks?
Ooh, this was good. I was like, go off, clock him.
Yeah, so obviously that sends Jaime thinking about Brienne and Sansa and like where they might be and what's going on.
Oh my God.
And
he's like, Brienne, where are you? I'm like, it's closer than you realize.
Yeah. So they finally get to Pennytree, and it's a nice village, and they have rebuilt most of it as well since the war.
Yeah.
And he comes across the tree for which it's named because there's hundreds of old copper pennies that are nailed to the trunk, which we never get the story of. He's like, I could ask Coster, but that will ruin the mystery. And I was like, no, ruin the mystery. Ask Coster.
Yeah, I want to know.
So we don't know. Yeah, and there's no one to be seen because they're all hiding in the holdfast because that's how they survived the last time because you can't trust no one in this. They go up to the holdfast and they're like, we're Kingsmen, open the door. And obviously the villagers are like, the last time they came, they were also Kingsmen. And then there were another Kingsmen. There's always Kingsmen and they all suck. So Jaime's people are like, should we burn them out? Like, should we break down the door? And Jaime's like, they didn't do anything to us. Let's just leave them alone. Make camp and we'll be gone in the morning. So that's what they do. And he's, eating sparingly, having some wine with his squire and Hoss, and trying to count the pennies, but there's too many of them. And he's like got sentries around the village to make sure no one leaves, but he's also sent scouts to make sure no one sneaks up on them. And this is when two of the scouts come back with a woman who apparently rode right up to them, bold as you please, demanding words with you. And Jaime, she looks 10 years older than he last saw her, and she's got her bandaged face.
Oh.
I mean, did you immediately know it was, like, at what sentence did you know it was her?
She wrote up bold as you please, demanding words with you. I was like, if this isn't Brienne, this is the biggest, not gaslight, but leading someone the wrong way. What's the word?
Red herring.
Thank you. Yeah. This is the biggest red herring of all time.
Yeah. So she's like, I've found the girl. She is a day's ride and I can take you to her, but you will need to come alone. Elsewise, the hound will kill her.
No. No, I refuse this.
Well, refuse what? Well, this is a lie. We know where she came from, so she's clearly like luring him out so she can kill him.
I don't like this.
So you're like, they're going to collude together and come up with a way to get out of this. Is not quite what has happened.
Well, that's what's going to happen, okay? She hasn't killed him yet, has she?
Yet being the operating term.
Also, okay, a bunch of things. First of all, are we getting...
But it would be kind of like iconic if he's killed with the sword called Oathbreaker. Just, okay.
Yeah, because it's like, and like he broke his oath, so it's also like...
Yeah, and he gave her the sword. So just all the things.
Yeah, it's like he was... Yeah. But also, I feel like, or no, okay, so that was my first point. Second point, if that's in fact what she's doing, like luring him out and whatever, elsewise the Hound will kill her is also kind of a fun thing to use because we do know that people are cosplaying as the Hound. So,
well, she killed the guy that was cosplaying as the Hound.
oh, lol, I forgot about that. Yes, she did. Okay, here's the thing. I think that right now this is what she intends, but I think that her mind, I think that it's gonna work out. It's gonna be okay. We just need to keep faith. I also am like, does this mean we get a Brienne POV? Because it would be so weird to just get, I mean, it could be cool, but it would leave me feeling like I need more if we didn't even get Brienne's POV about this, so.
Okay. All right. Wonderful.
Anyway,
so
yeah.
Your predictions are...
Okay, so she is trying to lure him out. I do agree with you. But I think that, like, between this and the day's ride, it's like, hey. Or maybe it's like she's being followed because Catelyn's people are like, we don't know if we can trust you. So this is her, like, public facade. And then she's gonna be like, Jaime, come here for a second. You know, like, and then she's gonna be like...
So eventually they're gonna work together and save the day and all will be well.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's like, maybe we can give you something else. We can, oh my god, look, Stannis is succeeding. Neither of them know about that. But, like, I don't know, I know I'm delusional, but I don't think she's gonna kill Jaime. I just feel like there's gotta be something she can say, something they can promise. Maybe they just kill Catelyn. Maybe that's what it has to be. Like, this isn't even Catelyn anymore.
I do want a confrontation between Jaime and Lady Stoneheart.
Yes, yeah. And I also think it would be really, you know what I also...
like, Nymeria comes in and Arya kills her mom through Nymeria or something, like...
That would be so wild, but I kind of like that. But I also think, you know what and that would be, like, the ultimate murder child. You know, murder child murders mom. Murder child becomes murder child after seeing dad murdered, and then murder child goes on to murder own mom. You know?
Well, undead mom.
Yeah, but murder own mom. I was gonna say something. Oh, you know what I do like about this is that Brienne, it's kind of like I think what she has to reckon with now is, like, so her original promise to Catelyn, and she was gonna be Catelyn, or obviously she promised Catelyn she would, like, try and save her daughters, right? But then her original thing was, like, Renly died, and I'm, like, swearing my sword to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was, like, her first one. But then she went in, now she has this oath to Jaime that was, like, I'm gonna go save... Was the oath with Jaime, like, I'm gonna go save the daughters? Or, like, same thing? Or what was
So,
it?
like, she swore to Catelyn that I'll serve you, and then Catelyn told her to take Jaime to King's Landing, and then when that turned out to be, you know, all that messy stuff, Jaime sent her out to be like, you have to fulfill my oath.
Which was to save the daughters, because she had gotten...
Wait, I think we earlier said that the sword is called Oathbreaker. It's actually called Oathkeeper. That's why Jaime gave her the sword. Yeah, the Oathkeeper sword kills the Kingslayer. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so her oath to Jaime is to fulfill Jaime's oath to Catelyn, which is to... like, save her daughters, but because like Arya is unknown and Sansa escaped, it means like finding Sansa and then like serving her, I guess.
Okay, cool. But the reason Catelyn had told Jaime to do that was because back then Catelyn thought that both the daughters were with the Lannisters.
Yeah, she was like, I'm letting you go in exchange for my daughters.
Okay, got it. But then we're having to try and keep that oath in different ways because they do not, in fact, have either of the daughters. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, right. Okay, so I think it would be interesting for Brienne's arc for her to have to, like, break her initial oath because she's so honorable. But it's not breaking her oath. It's, like, coming to terms that, like, she's not breaking her oath if she doesn't kill Jaime because this is not Catelyn. Like, Catelyn is dead. Do you know what I mean? This is, like, this is like just her grief and the anger, and like this is just a destructive force that looks like Catelyn, you know? So I think it would be, I think it also, like, not only do I want like Jaime and Brienne to like be together and live happily ever after, and not only do I love both of them and not want them to die like as separate people, but also I think it would be really good for her arc for her to have to break that oath, or at least what in her head is like oath, like for her to have to be like, is this oath breaking? No, it's not. Like, you know, like I think that would be really interesting too. So yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I have any other what happens to the like kids and the soldiers he leaves behind when they
maybe they just hang out here. Oh yeah, he's not even taking his hostage. LOL.
All of a sudden it's Hostine of Pennytree that's a hedge knight. Like
that's so
no, it's
funny.
Hoster, sorry.
Right. Yeah. I think, I mean, I guess they're just chilling here for now. Maybe they get, maybe like Hostine or something. Maybe Hostine, when Jaime never comes back, Hostine just goes back. Maybe, because what are they? They're like half a day's ride away or something. Yeah. So I don't think it's out of the question for them to, I don't know.
Cool. Well then, and I think they did not, the teats, whoever's they are, still belong to the Blackwoods. So he's kind of in his dad's area right now.
Yeah,
anyway.
So just find someone who's sworn to you and go from there.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should move on to next chapters.
Okay. Slay.
We're reading 2 next time, so give me your hopes and predictions.
Okay, cool. I want to see Bran and I want to see Dany.
Okay. Well, we're reading chapters 49 and 50 next time.
Wow. Okay.
Chapter 49 is Jon.
Okay, Aura. Jon is... What was Jon doing?
Alice Karstark just arrived.
Yes. Okay, so he has to deal with that, and then he also sent the people to Hardhome, and so many other schemes, so many things. Right, okay, so I think he's gonna, like, send Alice off like he was gonna do if it was Arya.
To, like, Bravos and whatnot.
Yes, but then I think he's also gonna be crisising over the fact that it wasn't Arya that Melisandre saw. So maybe he'll go talk to Melisandre and be like, what is this? You know, you were wrong. You know, and then she's gonna have to be like, it's fine. I saw Mance on his way back or something, like, you know, like she'll have to make some things up to.
I saw a second Arya. And then there seems to be this Arya in the corner that's in Bravos. I don't know about that Arya.
Right, like how she's in denial of everything. Oh my god. Like, I wonder why I'm seeing Jon when I'm looking for Azor Ahai. Yeah.
Okay. And chapter 50 is, in fact, Daenerys.
Dany boy. Okay, I think it's the signing of the peace. I think it's all the Jorah, Tyrion, all the things. You know what I mean?
So, all right. So, refer to previously on in this episode.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right. That's cool. Well, folks, you know what to do. Follow us on Instagram at Pop Culture Symposium. Send us emails. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. Join the Discord. Enter the review contest. All the info and links are in the show notes always. Until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.